Is that on Facebook? No, we're not on Facebook. Anyway, welcome to the Swerve Show. Well, it's been an interesting day. I guess we should get a little closer, Tony. Come on, let's get closer. Well, I just want to say happy September, what? 18th?
18th.
And we're a little different colors. What the desk is changing colors. Can we stop that?
That washes me out.
Yes.
My gray beard.
Is there something to unplug here? There's something to unplug here that don't unplug my chargers. One of these things that turns this flicking lights off. There, oh, hallelujah. Okay, and we're still a little whited out. Can you give us our mahogany? Anyway.
That mahogany tan.
And I don't know if anybody's watching right now because we're not on Facebook Live. But you can see us on Listen Vision. What is it? ListenVisionLive.com. All right, I guess we better tell people that. But anyway, we're going to re-air this anyway, so welcome. This is The Swerve Show. My name is Jamel Fletcher. I'm the publisher of Swerve Magazine. And to my left, I've got Tony Nelson, y'all, the legendary. Aren't you legendary still?
I'm still legendary.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to be legendary till I'm not legendary anymore. That means I'm old.
We need alcohol like the open bar. Okay, and we have a guest this evening. So Yarday is not with us this evening, and neither is Racine. So we have Marcel Sawyer. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
And he's got a couple of aliases, but we'll get into that later. But he is a Renaissance man, and that is really not even a proper label. I mean, you're doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I like to keep my feet.
Artist, scholar. Are you an activist also?
Partially, yes.
Partially? Okay, I think that's the camera. That's our camera. So he's a classical singer amongst one thing, and he's a model, actor, and
a school
scholar.
and about to become a school teacher.
Oh, really? I know. And you're studying at Morgan State, correct?
Yes.
And so we'll get into to detail about that. But so we want to welcome everyone to the show, and of course we've got our September-October issue, which is really just starting to hit the stands over the next week. Do we have that image? Kapow! All right.
Is this released yet?
Yes. It should drop everywhere over the next week. And so this is always a special issue. We like to use our September. Can we keep it up a second? We like to keep focus our style, feature the style. You know, it's like our style issue, just like everybody else. Everyone does a style issue in the fall. And, of course, we're featuring a great story from Tony Nelson on Spotlights, Javon Armand Braxton.
And he is looking forward to...
it's fabulous.
He's looking forward to that. So is the link available?
It will be.
Not
Give
yet.
us some time. Not yet. It'll be up in a minute. It will be on our website, the digital version. So
I'm just...
And it's a great issue, and we actually feature a very stylish jewelry maker, Aristotle Bouvier, out of New Jersey. And he was in town. He's out of Atlanta, actually, but he was in town for the Clubhouse reunion party in D.C., so he's got some great stuff. So anyway,
fantastic.
When you get it, check it out. Give us some feedback. Let us know your thoughts. All right? Well, let's keep it moving. Let's see. I guess of course, we've got advertising opportunities. Look at all these smiles. What are y'all smiling about? We got advertising opportunities both within the magazine and for the show.
So how can I get on this front page, though?
On the cover?
Yes.
It all depends on what your accomplishments are, but we'll talk about that too. Accomplish. It's about accomplishment and timing. So we've got that. I guess we just check in with everyone to see what's going on with them. I'll go first real quick. Last week was Black Caucus Week, and I tell you, I can't go to another reception party, nothing. I did a little too much, but it was phenomenal. It really was.
It was really nice.
I didn't go to the dinner this year, which I needed to do, but it was a really great event. It's as if people have become more, their awareness around public affairs in our community has become a little more heightened, the timing and the urgency. So there were some great panels. So what's going on with you
Well, of course, I returned to Ziegfeld's this Friday. This is third Friday
in Washington D.C.?
in Washington D.C. The show starts at midnight on the nose. If you haven't been, I invite you to come out. Lots of fun. And this Sunday, I have Mr. Henry's.
Wow, and this is all in Washington D.C.
The lipstick review is coming up this Sunday. And I got a couple other things in the fire. On October the 5th, I'm going to be hosting not really hosting, but I'm helping to set up a day party, almost like a Christian day party, if you will.
A Christian mingle, like gay Christian mingle? Like
Well, no, it's like an all-inclusive church. They're having like a day party to celebrate. I don't know if
Where
party
is
is
this?
the
In
correct
DC?
word. No, it's in Baltimore.
Oh.
I don't know if party is the correct word, but a day event to celebrate their 50th anniversary. And it's going to be featuring DJ Cedric.
Okay.
And, they're going to
We've got to have Cedric on the show.
We really should have
gotta
Cedric
have
on the
Cedric
show
on the
because he's
show.
legendary.
He is legendary.
And I have a few things coming up.
Is
for
that
the
all
next
on your
month.
page?
I'm not the promoter
We
like
need
that.
your itinerary on your page. It should just roll up on you.
It
When you
should
come
roll
to
up.
your page,
I just,
roll up
you know,
your
I,
page.
I really should because it's funny because I for the year anniversary of the party at Ziegfeld's that I host, I did post that and about 50 people showed up
See,
because of that post. I really should.
You got to post. That's the
But
only way.
I'm just of the mindset that I'm the entertainment, not the promoter.
Well, you got to wear many hats these days, as we see with this gentleman over here.
You got to wear many hats.
I mean, you can't help it, but there's only so many platforms.
My full-time gig takes it out of
Who
me.
are you telling?
My full-time gig takes it out of me. That's why I just, that's what that was.
I hadn't worked since 2012.
You had well. I've worked since I was 12.
And look, my body went in shock when they had a staff meeting. I was like,
A staff meeting, yeah.
a meeting?
They have meetings in my job. They have meetings, but I'm at work every morning at 6 a.m. So
I get in around 9-ish.
9-ish. No, he could tell you I'm punching
Ish.
it. I'm rolling out of my house no later than
Ooh.
yeah. I'm rolling. So I'm a hustler.
Right, we got to. That's the way.
I'm a
of the
hustler.
world. It's
So-
called the gig economy.
Yeah.
So
The
while
gig economy.
while we got Marcel, tell us just check in. What's going on with you? It's not necessarily what you're doing professionally, but just like what are you doing socially? Just what's going on. Like what happened with you the last week, and like what are you doing this weekend?
The main thing that I'm working on, moving forward, is a show called Breaking Ground.
Okay,
I'm part of that cast, and the whole entire cast has really been.
is that the flyer I have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it said something else, bigger, better now, or something.
Yes.
That's the name of the play.
Oh, okay, all
The
right.
group is Breaking Ground.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that. So, but is this your acting debut?
No, my acting debut was in January. Yeah.
Okay.
What was it?
Are you a studied actor?
No.
Or are you just a natural actor?
I'm more so a natural actor. I like to bring my personality into whatever character they give me, but it becomes natural when I've studied opera, and I'm able to kind of.
Yeah, I was
hone
going to
into
say,
what I
don't they teach you how to act? No?
teach you how to sing?
But you have to, anyway, well, we'll talk about that.
You have to emote.
I thought they taught them how to act. Okay. All right, well, y'all, let's go into some news. All right, are we ready? We ready, folks?
I'm ready.
All right.
I don't have
let
my
us
glasses,
know when
so-
something changes. When we change platform. Okay, I got you. So we'll keep it moving. Ed Buck got arrested. So this is the gentleman that there were two other individuals that were found dead from drug overdose. He's a wealthy donor out in L.A. Has this passion or this fetish for young black men. And so there were two that overdosed, I think, of meth, and they were deceased, but nothing ever happened to him. He never got charged with anything. A third was found dead in his apartment, and now they found him They're arresting him for drug trafficking.
A third was just recently found.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
That's
A couple weeks ago.
But
so 3 people got to die before we get this guy under arrest.
Well,
and that's not convicted. That's arrested
well,
in L.A.
what
Okay.
this wealthy gay white male and luring young black people in with
Young,
young black
young black men.
men in with crystal meth.
Well, we don't know if that's what he was doing. Clearly, he's done something to them while they were in his
but
presence.
but what I'm trying to say is from what I'm understanding, that's pretty commonplace. That
That's a
happens.
trend?
That's a trend, and that happens here in D.C. quite a bit.
Really?
Yes, I've been talking to
Luring them in through
well,
with
or
the drugs?
they have the older white guy, and they have young people, young black men, and they give them crystal meth to stay at their house, and I've heard
They
that
give
quite a
them
bit.
the crystal meth to stay, or do they just give them a place to stay and then inject them with crystal meth?
I don't think they force them, but
Oh.
but I do think it's something it's something that I've heard quite a bit. That happens right here in the nation's
Really?
capital. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
we've got to do something
Yes,
about
there's
that.
there's a whole. I mean, every young person who I've spoken to who has said something about being on Tina or crystal meth, I'm like da da da, and they say, oh, you go to the white man's house. They have the parties.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
But we got to do some investigating that. I'm on the board of Us Helping Us. I'm going to inquire
going to start
about
doing some
what
investigating. We're
we
gonna break
need
this
to
up.
do. Yes, we got to nip that in the bud. And if it's happening here, chances are it's happening all over the country.
I'm sure if it's disgusting.
That's terrible.
It's
All right.
disgusting.
So we'll investigate that.
So Ed Buck got arrested.
Yes, he got arrested. So we'll keep our eyes out on the story. And then also, so this just happened a couple weeks ago. I saw this report. So the threshold has been penetrated around now people of color in the workforce. So people of color make up the majority of workforce-aged people, and that's between, I think, 18 and age 54 in the country. This is the first time this has ever happened, and it's primarily through women of color, which is primarily through black women, sort of being overrepresented in the workforce. And so this is what we've been saying, this is what's going to happen. The country is changing, the demographics are changing, so people of color make up the majority now. You have a minority, an ethnic minority majority, and so that's one of the reasons we have the climate that we have, and the partisan.
And that's interesting because I know they did a survey where I work, they have a Women's Week, and in women, they have a women's group, and they have a Women's Week, and the study showed at my office that the average salary for the black woman at that office is $97,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And how does that compare to the salary for
men for men it's 94.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
well, even when you look at colleges, women are predominant, and especially at HBCUs, yes. It's like the ratios are much higher. So I guess the word to the wise is to any corporation, if you are looking to be competitive with the workforce, you're going to have to attract and appeal and retain black and Latino women. You're going to have to have an environment that's conducive for them because they will leave and go somewhere else. So that's very interesting. We got to keep our eyes on that study.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's get moving. So we got another issue. Another black transgender woman was killed. Oh man, what's her name? Oh.
Is that the nation's capital?
No,
oh, yeah.
no,
in
in Florida.
Florida.
She was found in a car, burned or something. What's her name? B Loves Slater. That's her name. All right. And I just saw this a second ago. So we have to do some more digging on that. And so I think she's like the 20th, maybe 18th, 19th, or 20th black transgender woman that's been murdered this year.
Let me just say,
Yes.
this year.
And
let me just say this. There is such a fear. And I see it within
a fear within the trans community.
No. There's such a fear coming from a lot. Can't say everyone, but from a lot of people in the African American community about this transgender movement. You see it on like Facebook.
Fear of the transgender movement.
A fear of transgender. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right word, but just like perfect example. Tammy PA put a post up today about transgender women, and the vitriol that came back from that post. I'm just like, are you people serious? I mean, are you really, really serious? These are people. I mean, regardless.
Right.
I mean, and at the end of the day, you don't have to like it. You ain't got to break bread with it. But my God, I mean, what on earth? I was just reading, and she just basically had said these transgender women are putting it down. I mean, they coming out looking better than the cisgender
The
women.
regular women.
No shade.
But she was doing it in Tammy PA style. You know, she's a comedian.
She's a comedian, right?
But-
right.
but-
and she's a black woman.
And she's a black woman. But the things that people were coming back saying, and so all I said on the post was 'cause Tammy finally was like, guys, I'm just trying to bring some understanding to other women. And I just said, sometimes people, because somebody said they're not real, we have humans exploding out of our body. I was like, excuse me, what? And so, but my point came back to that was, let people live in their ignorance. But like the woman up a little bit further up said, she has with humans exploding out of her body. She'll understand if one of those humans turns out to be transgender.
Right.
And what did I say?
So this is, I call that oppression Olympics. So
Right.
who's the more oppressed?
Right. And
right.
then but I also saw, I don't know who the gentleman was who was talking about it, but we were on Facebook. I was looking on Facebook, and I have just, this week I started looking back on Facebook. I had really kind of exited
It wasn't
out.
the Malik Yoba situation, was
Not
it?
Malik
Which we
Yoba.
haven't talked about.
That was disgusting also.
Well, I mean, I don't say disgusting. I mean, there's some
There's some in between, and
there's some informed thinking on his behalf, but it's also still not as enlightened as you would imagine it would be.
what he was saying was not very enlightened at all.
Right, clearly.
But
it's almost like he's fetishizes
But
that.
the backlash from it has nothing to do with the fact that he's fetishizing it.
Right.
The backlash is about this is what you are
saying
attracted
it's
to.
wrong, right?
Exactly.
And
It
everyone
makes no
trying
sense.
to. Well, the other thing with him, when he came out and said, feel free to jump in, Marcel. When he came out and said that he was trans attracted, the conversation seemed to dwell on whether they should identify him as gay or not. And us in these labels, our people in these labels, is just trivial. When all he's saying that is that he's attracted to transgender women.
Wait.
But why do we need to classify or put him in a particular box?
Well, I have a question
around
for
his
you.
identity, and what does that mean?
I have a question then. So, like we all go to college. We've been to college and all that stuff, and you have women who we all know women who have had experienced lesbian experiences once, and then they go on to have children. Never look back. They're not necessarily labeled lesbians. So, is it possible for a man to have an experience and not be gay?
This is the thing. It's almost like being black. How much black in you. It's a false narrative. And that's because there was this value placed on the purity of whiteness. And so if there's this value placed on masculinity, right? So if a man sleeps with another man, he is no longer a man. But a woman is always a woman in the eyes of men who desire her. So men will have no problems with women that sleep with women. They go to the strip clubs and they pay extra for it to watch.
Ding, 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 ding.
What?
I like that explanation.
And that's really what it is.
I've been pondering that.
It's a false narrative. It's a false narrative. It's something we define. We say a man is only supposed to be, 100%. He's at this extreme of his sexual activity and identity. And we all know that it's a bell curve,
So I feel like that's also just a misconception with just black people.
No.
Because I've seen it.
No.
I've seen clips on YouTube or things like that where they're playing Truth or Dare or so, like Caucasian counterparts, and they
Speaking to Mike.
And they go on their life just like living that, and it didn't happen. Like it was just a game.
Are you telling me that you think folks in Middle America, in Red Belt America,
Bible Belt,
right, don't have these
Trump
same
country.
labels? They're just ignorance is not. Doesn't belong to any.
But
any
it's easier
particular
for them.
demographic.
I feel it's easier for them to pull the like the sheet over that and cover it and let it just
Like,
pass by.
what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
So let's say that there's a game called Chicken. I remember in high school that a lot of the guys used to play it.
I'm not familiar with that.
You guys aren't familiar with
This-
Chicken?
this a gay game?
Is this
So-
a gay game?
So rules of the game is, hey, two males going in to kiss each other. Whoever chickens out first loses. Usually it would end up with guys kissing each other.
Straight guys.
Straight guys.
Okay.
Oh my God, I've
Straight
never heard
guys.
this. Is this what the football team does?
But see,
Yes.
you wouldn't have heard it because you was gay. So they
I
wouldn't.
wasn't always gay.
So
I had girlfriends and stuff in high school.
Oh, real? Oh, really?
You know, the
So-
story gets different as you get older.
You remember it different. Go
That's
ahead.
right.
Go ahead,
But
son.
it's just like, so that game is like, oh, you could just cover it up like, oh, they were just playing a game. But if two black males were to play that same game in the same environment and same people, they would be looked at as lesser.
I don't know, especially with this generation, and you were closer to this generation than I am, much.
By 2 years.
And I would think that, the prevalence, it's not like you don't see non-binary sexual people in every aspect of life to some degree, and so I would imagine it's a little bit different. There's still we still over hyper, everything's the hyper masculinity thing is just out the box, especially with the rap artists and all, with the music. It just sort of informs that, perpetuates that to me.
And I feel like it's just that we as personally, as a young black male, there's already like things against us. So the color of our skin, then also there's the misconception of being a black male that everyone goes in. So it's like we kind of hide that or want to hide that last part, like, oh, well, that part.
Right. It's
that
almost like
label,
as
let's hide it.
if anything that doesn't put us in this aura of perfection sort of takes us down when it's really just our humanity.
Can I just tell y'all something? Can I just? I never gave two fucks.
Me either.
I never gave two fucks. But you know what?
How can you worry about all these things?
But you know what? I think, when we talk about the whole masculinity thing, I think because my father told me not to give two fucks. When my father gave me a thumbs up, he was like, "You good, just like you are." And when he gave me a thumbs up, baby, it was on and popping. I don't give two
Did you go out
fucks.
and get some glitter?
Child, I might as well. Pretty much whatever I did, my dad was good with
Really?
it. Oh
My
yeah.
father said that to me once. I think I was junior high school. He said, you really got to trust your instincts and don't worry about what other people think about you. He said, even me. I remember him saying that to me. And I was like, well, I didn't, I got my own show anyway, so thank you.
Okay.
That's how he acted. So I
Okay.
acted like he acted.
But my dad, but I can't tell the whole story on this show.
Uh-oh.
But my dad had his analogy wasn't even me. His analogy was, I'm good with you. You good? If you good, I'm good. And for me, that was the best thing that could ever happen to a young person. And I don't even think like my siblings even know that my father and I had had these conversations.
Parents know their children. They know
my
who's
father-
going to get married. They know who's going to be wealthier, who's more responsible. They know that from day one.
But
I'm a wild card.
Really?
You ain't that wild.
But your mother has an insight on who you are. Your parents, they have
a lot of times they
greater
do.
insight.
A lot, and
Whether
a lot.
they share with you or not.
A lot of times they don't share with you, and then when
right.
it's difficult for for them. And once my dad, I can remember my mom feeling like, oh. What does your dad have to say about that? And when my dad was like, I ain't got shit to say about that. Leave that boy alone. Leave that boy alone. He ain't hurt nobody. And and my mom was like, well, your father has spoken. Go on, do your thing. And and it was so I guess with that validation for me. But I still didn't give a shit before I had that validation. I don't think.
And that's a good thing.
I was kicking.
Otherwise, you couldn't be who you are.
I was
That's not
parading
genetic.
around and carrying on and wearing cowboy boots with my pants tucked inside my cowboy boots.
I bet you were a mess.
Ooh.
Hot absolute mess. Anyway, we should probably keep it moving. We should probably get it moving. Since we started a little bit late, so we should probably keep it moving. Okay, so let's run through this what's hot stuff real quick. So, I sat through a panel on this film. So there's a Harriet Tubman movie. I hope we can show it. The trailer is, I think it's scheduled to come out sometime before Christmas, but it looks like it's going to be a great film. Do we have that
Cynthia
trailer that we can
Erivo?
show?
This is one with Cynthia Erivo.
Let's show it. Let's run that trailer real quick.
For the promised land,
There's not much time. You got to be miles away from here for dawn. Where is she? Follow that North Star. If there are no stars, just follow the river. Listen for them. Fear is your enemy. Whoa. Easy now.
I'm gonna be free or die.
I don't know if you know how extraordinary this is, but you have made it 100 miles to freedom all by yourself. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Harriet Tubman. You are welcome here anytime. If I'm free, my family should be too. I made up my mind, I'm going back. You're confident, composed. When trouble comes, you'll be ready.
Papers. Says here you're 5.5 feet tall. You ain't more than 5 feet.
Must have won my high boost that day.
Why you back here? It ain't safe.
I come to get you. Bring all of you to freedom.
Do you know what would happen if you got caught? You got lucky, Harriet.
I made it this far on my own, so don't you tell me what I can't do.
for the promised land, I'm gonna leave you.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad.
Everybody, everywhere is looking for you.
God don't mean people to own people.
Find this thief and burn her at the stake.
Harriet!
I would give every last drop of blood in my veins until this monster called slavery is dead. Ready?
All right. That looks very interesting. I'm glad the story's being told, so I can't wait to see it. It looks it looks very Hollywood.
It looks really glossy.
Yeah, everyone looks too good. You
Some
know?
baby
I didn't
oil
see
on the
no.
face.
Yeah,
I need dirt. Raw. Right. So
yeah, that's a struggle.
Right.
We need to see the struggle.
we need to see the real struggle, right? So I'm curious. I want to see how this plays. I'm just glad the story is being put front and center again.
I feel terrible, but I wanted an American actress. I know.
Can you even tell that she's not an American actor? I mean, she's an actress, so she
I
can play
love
whatever
her.
accent.
She already played Celie.
See, I didn't see her play Celie, and she sings. She's played
She
in
sings
Celie on Broadway.
down.
Oh, she has an
She must
amazing.
be
She's an
voice.
amazing,
She was
amazing
in
vocalist.
Widows. That's the only thing I remember her in.
She was,
Right.
yeah, she was an amazing vocalist.
Really?
Oh gosh, she was, she was
Aretha
great.
Franklin tribute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's an amazing.
All right, well, we got to
vocalist.
keep our eye out on that. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna move along. So we've got a great individual with us, and I just want you to know that when you blow up, just remember the little people.
Oh,
Just
yes.
remember the little people. Marcel Sawyer, y'all, give it up for Marcel.
Yeah.
Come on, Marcel. And this is one of Tony's children. Is one of your children? Tony?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right, all right. So anyway, so we're gonna show. We got a brief clip of your musical artistry. Let's show that, and then we'll come back and talk. Okay? Can we run that clip? Do we have that? Yes.
Amazing.
All right. Marcel, my man. Man. So tell us about who you are and how you found music, all this creativity. Give me, where you from?
I'm originally from New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Let's see, where to even start. My first solo was in the 5th grade. I was in charge. I was to lead the middle school and also high school, and I was nervous. Mm-hmm. But that's the earliest memory that I can actually feel like I've found my place.
But
in
how
music.
how did you even get into singing? Were you just a loud child or?
Yeah, I always acted out. I always had something to say. I always had just a tune in my head. Even so, to the point where my family, well, not my family, but I got, dismissed from Catholic school because I would run down the hallway singing Blessed Assurance during classes.
The Catholics don't like spirituals?
I'm not sure. I think they just misunderstood.
Okay.
But even so, into high school, I always sang in the choir. And even furthermore into college, I really dedicated myself to opera or to classical singing my junior year. Mm-hmm. I had a mentor, Dr. Lloyd Mallory, who worked at Delaware State.
Delaware State?
Yes,
okay.
Delaware State.
I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. Yeah.
Hey, yes, Delaware. And he kind of really helped mold just the character that I've become.
Okay.
Somebody who's really dedicated to the art flourishing. The fine art of classical music, I feel, is dying, and especially within the African American community.
Really?
I think so too.
And even to the point where the spiritual is the first American music that we can actually, as Americans, say that this is ours. So we don't have to worry about singing "Hai vinto la causa" or something in Italian, French, or German, because this is ours.
Right.
Those spirituals that the slaves
So
told.
are spirituals considered classical music?
Yes.
Okay.
Art song.
Mm-hmm.
More so.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a full-on aria that you actually hear in a show, but there are people who do recitals. There are people who do church performances.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesse
right.
Norman and Kathleen Battle did the whole album together. Spirituals, yeah.
So you've been singing as a trained vocalist early on. I mean, you've been at the. It's not like you just did the Mary J. Blige thing and we said I sound good. Let me go sing something. You've been trained and cultivated. This artistry has been cultivated over a decade, right? Because you are how old?
I'm 28.
All right, you poor thing, you. Anyway.
You're only 2 years older than me. What are you talking about?
Yeah, times 10 and 20. So classical music, is that your first love?
Yes, that is.
Okay.
Actually, when my voice really developed into this baritone, this chocolate, this
you call it
milky-
chocolate?
Yes, it's been called chocolate milk.
Wow.
It kind of caresses, and even so, the lower register, it kind of vibrates the air around you, and people actually feel it. So if I was to sing "Give Me Jesus" and emote it so well that somebody sitting right in front of me can feel it down to their heart. I feel like the bass and the baritone have that power to really resonate with people without even touching them.
So what are you doing with this artistry? Are you performing? Are you recording? You in an opera company? What?
Currently, I'm performing, freelancing, going to churches, as well as whatever gigs come my way. I just recently got back from doing West Side Story over in Scotland.
All right.
And early on,
what role did you play?
I played Indio. Indio is like the right-hand man to Bernardo.
Okay.
So my role was pretty much when he died, Bernardo died, I was there to go pick up the body and make sure that, the knives were taken off the stage. And even when Bernardo was alive, I was right there, like right behind him, like, hold on, wait, you guys are going to try and fight? No. And it was.
I bet that was exciting.
Yes.
Well, that story's a great story.
And how long were you there for?
I was there for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
And I got to see the castle.
Oh my goodness.
Travel throughout the country land, climb a volcano. I recommend that everybody climb a volcano.
Okay.
No thanks.
While it's not erupting.
And also just met a lot of people. The past couple of months, I've been dealing with a lot of personal issues. When I was over there, I was able to fight through those personal issues and really come back as my biggest cheerleader.
So,
my own personal.
So on top of that, and being this, I'm gonna give you world class status. Come on, Tony, you got to say something.
I'm just listening.
Give you world class status in your artistry. On top of that, you're also a professional model, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so I think we have some images of Marcel, the model. Do we have a few images of Marcel, the model? Well, that's just your headshot, right? That's just your
business card,
yeah, But that's you. That's sexy. That's hot. That's hot. I would have never thought that was you. I wouldn't have known who you were. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just me playing around,
Look at that. Who's that photographer? I've seen that logo everywhere.
His name is James Lewis. He's down in Atlanta.
Okay,
Atlanta.
James, we got to do some stuff
North
with you.
2000.
That was
That's a great photo.
Yeah, that is. That is.
This is recent.
Yeah, this one was actually right before I went to Scotland.
And you do have, so there's a show that you're participating in with Alec what is it? What's his name? Alec Rizmick?
Yeah.
Rizmick? Right. Right. We've actually did.
And when is this?
This is October.
October 12th in Baltimore.
Okay.
He literally just hit me up on Instagram. He's like, I love your work. So
you're going to perform and model there?
Well, I'm just going to be modeling.
Okay.
I don't think they know that performance side just yet.
Oh, okay. That's Carl. What's Carl's
Right.
last name? Right, yeah.
Carl. We know Carl. Carl's the fashion
Carl
designer.
with a K. Right.
Yes,
I know that.
yes.
Because this is
You know
my-
Carl?
Oh,
I know
wow.
Carl.
Yeah, we know Carl. Yes, yes.
This is my second fashion show, so I'm
Okay.
really excited.
So can you work? So you do runway, print, the works?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to get into commercial. I want to, really perfect the craft.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes with opera. Everything that I do, put my foot into as that, multi-background person. I want to polish it. I want to make it better. I want to
Oh my goodness.
perfect it.
But you're going to also be doing something else soon, too.
So you're in a play coming up, and I think we have that. We have a flyer for that play. I think so. Do we? Ta-da!
Yes.
Right.
Tell us about Breaking Ground.
Breaking
Or
Ground.
Breaking Ground presents Bigger Than Myself. What's
Yes.
that?
So
And is
Breaking,
it- Go
Breaking
ahead.
Ground itself is a
Can we keep that up a second?
is an organization where a lot of us, like I said, I've been going through a lot of personal issues the past couple months. We were able to tell our stories, tell what was going on, and then also fight through that and strive to be better. And personally, I've had the biggest breakthrough I've ever had.
Okay.
And that's literally breaking the ground of what you were going through, breaking that whole entire barrier, and then moving into your next level.
But you got Tony. Tony's the counselor, senior counselor here.
Yes,
Just go to him, and he will
Papa's
spout out the
went through
answer.
it. He went right through it with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
In the Breaking Ground guys,
we can come back to
some of
that.
them are affiliated with Impulse.
Oh, Impulse
Yeah.
DC here in Washington DC.
It's not the same group though, but
It's-
there is an affiliation.
yeah, affiliation. Our director AJ King is
The vice president.
yes of Impulse,
Right.
and then myself, I am the
You-
Mr. Impulse Model of the Year this year.
Are you?
So yeah.
How come you didn't enter the Swerve model contest? But that's a conversation for another day.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk that competition. But even so, more so, the story that we put together is a collaboration of everyone's story. There's different skits within the story, but it's collectively everyone's story. Like the skit that I'm in, I'm a young man who's graduating high school who wants to go off to college, but there's too many responsibilities back home that I can't just leave my family and go off because I pay the bills. I make sure my sister gets up. I make sure my grandfather who has dementia is taken care of. And I come see the show.
So when is that again? Can we bring that flyer up one more time, just real quick, so we can get the dates up?
So it'll be September 27th.
Ooh, that's
and
next
28th.
week. Everything's happening that week. That's the weekend of the Trans March, the HRC dinner. I mean,
The 27th. I'm going to go on the 27th because I'm going to be in Richmond on the 28th. That's
is that the
Zacchaeus.
Mob Wives thing?
No, that's Zacchaeus pageant.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
Nations.
Weekend. Right.
But you should come go with me
Okay. I'm going to work on it.
on that Friday.
To see that's Friday. I'm getting back from Atlanta.
What's your point?
Late, like 11 or 12 o'clock. Yeah. Hey,
I feel you. You got you on the
make a
move.
living, dude. Gotta
You
make
on the
a living.
move.
So then what's next? You know, what's the future hold for Marcel? And then you have a couple of aliases. What's the alias?
So there's Cavalier.
Cavalier with a K, right?
With a K, yes. So just
Is that your model name?
my
Like
modeling stage name.
Iman, Nicole,
Yeah.
Tyra, Cavalier.
You know, Sasha Fierce, bring out a little bit of different side of us. But Cavalier, I always think of a knight. I've always considered myself as the knave of like the royal family. So you have the king, you have the queen, but you have that knave.
What
that
is it?
protects.
The knave. The knave is a.
Like the knave of spades, the knave of hearts. He stole the tarts.
Okay,
And he was just-
that went way above my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta look up the knave.
We gotta look that up.
Go look the knave up.
Yeah, Instagram kind of caters to that. Knave of
And then
spades.
we'll also post your stuff too, where
definitely.
where people can find you. But so then, what's next? Or should we expect a recording? Should we expect to see you?
Any holiday music?
That's right.
So
the Messiah, maybe.
in the works.
Okay.
I'm actually considering. It's been on my heart for the past couple years to just do a short compilation CD of
Okay.
possibly some Broadway songs, some classical songs, and even so.
And do a video, a music video.
I would love to.
You should do that.
We can get Theo to shoot it.
That's right. We got
Theo.
tons of people to do it right, but Theo would be good. Do it.
I'm
do
totally-
it. Throw it up on YouTube. Right.
Yeah. And then I just want to make people smile with my crafts. Honestly.
And
That's
are
my
you
goal.
are you still a student? Because you studied at Morgan State. Are you still there?
I'm
Okay.
still there. I still have a year and a half left.
And studying what?
Opera performance.
Opera performance.
This is for your masters.
Yes.
At the
Masters.
legendary Morgan State University.
Music department.
That music department is awesome.
Yes.
Is it? Does it hold the same esteem that it always has, or has that faded any? That's a tough question.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have that founding director. He was amazing. I mean, he was pumping out some stellar artists.
Yeah, he was. But Dr. Conway, who's currently there, he's still like he's great when it comes to molding a student professionally, even more so. Like a lot of times we kind of miss that professional side. Oh, you can sing, you got the talent, you can do this, you can do that, but can you make it to these meetings? Can you, can you do a business report? Can you put a show together?
Can you be the next Denise Graves?
Right. Or Jesse Norman, right? Just
What's
studied at Howard University.
We'll study at Howard University, yes.
Yes, Howard, HU.
Didn't Denise Graves go to Howard also? No.
Duke Ellington.
Duke Ellington.
That's
Denise
right.
Graves went to Duke
I know
Ellington.
people that went to school with her, and she still recognized them when she saw this.
Denise Graves is something else.
She's talented.
A friend of mine was her exclusive makeup artist for years. Eric Spearman, the late Eric Spearman, was her
She's
exclusive.
still up at Peabody
Is she?
teaching, yes.
Okay.
Teaching at Peabody.
Yeah.
I saw a quick story about Denise Graves. I saw her in Champion last year at the Kennedy Center.
Oh, okay.
And the story, because we were
Was that that's not the Muhammad Ali? Oh, that's the story of the boxer that killed the guy.
right.
Oh, that's right. What was his name?
I can't remember his name, but what's his name?
And did he commit suicide as a result of it, or he just got
He died.
depressed?
No, he died. He
right.
died of old age. But what's the trumpet player's name? It's
Louis Armstrong.
Blanchard.
Terrence Blanchard.
Terrence Blanchard
Okay,
is
he did
the-
the music.
He wrote the play.
Oh,
it's his
that's
his
right.
play.
How was it?
It was amazing. But Denise Graves reprieved her role. She was the original mother. And so after and I'm telling you because we supposed to pick our favorite opera singer, and I love Denise Graves. But after she did this whole aria laying on her side, just like laying on her side, and I was knocked out because what she was doing, I was like, whoa. But anyway, after that, they did a meet and greet with the cast, and everybody had to come, and they were asking questions. And so most of the cast was out there, and as they were asking questions, Denise Graves sachets out like mid interview and just takes her spot. And of course, everybody stops. And so this woman stands up and says, this white woman stands up and says, "My question is for Miss Graves." And she said, "Yes." Yes. She said, "So this play has so many different elements and so many different music and had the accents. How did you prepare for your audition for the play?"
For your what?
Your audition. And when I tell you, she recoiled like a cobra, like this. "Excuse me, what was your name?" Oh yeah, that Candace, yes. "I don't know about these other very talented artists up here, but Denise Graves doesn't audition for anything." How and then looked at her. "How dare you audition?"
They had to beg me to play the part.
They had to beg me. Do you know what they did to get me to play? Get me to lay on my side and play that part and sing that aria.
The truth be told, she was pretty. We can get off Denise Graves, but she has always been accessible for charitable events and stuff in the district. I mean, you could reach out to her, email, whatever. I know she did some stuff for Whitman Walker for free. She did some stuff at the Arc. I mean, she was doing a lot of stuff around
They said
here.
she's a lovely woman.
Yeah,
Eric said she was a lovely.
And I've never met her, but she was doing a lot of stuff, for people that definitely couldn't pay her market rate to do it.
Eric said she was a lovely woman, but she was not having that woman asking her about audition. I mean, she was deeply offended.
Anyway, okay, so we got you in this play. Any new modeling gigs, acting gigs outside of the play?
So I may be flying out to LA to do a couple of shoots out there. Through my Instagram, I've since these last couple of shoots where they could really see the fire that I was shooting for.
Yeah, you look like you're a natural. Look at these cheekbones.
That's my mom. This is all.
It's not Maybelline.
Literally.
It's not contoured.
I look exactly like my mom.
Okay.
But they see that fire. They see that determination. They see that willing to succeed, and they're contacting me.
Okay.
I mean, I've an offer in Paris, an offer in Germany, an offer to go back over to Scotland, an offer to go to London, and
Tony, we need to beef up our Instagram pages. Maybe go shirtless.
They don't want to see me shirtless.
Turn to the side.
These hooters ain't hooting no more. But no shade. But you have something else. You're glossing over something.
Oh, tell us something else. Tell us. What should we not know?
So the director from The West Side Story in Scotland was also the director for Hamilton.
Oh.
The traveling
cast?
Traveling, yes. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
And throughout the whole entire West Side Story experience, he really was kind of, hey, do this. Hey, little bits and pieces, to see, if I'll catch on to them. And definitely I'm going to take the bait. I'm going to go ahead and get reeled in. And I succeeded. He loved the presence that I had on stage. He loved the character that I became when I became Indio. I was no longer Marcel. I no longer was Cavalier. I was Indio. And Indio was also me because I was able to, everything that I've been through within my life, put that on stage. And even he told me to contact him.
Okay.
For
a possible role.
And
so,
what?
And, I mean, do they have multiple traveling casts?
They have multiple traveling casts.
But they have tiers, right? Because there's a certain tier that plays the Kennedy Center. There'll be a certain tier that plays in certain markets.
So there's the UK. There's the UK tour. There's our domestic tour. But then there's still going to be one on Broadway. There's going to be one in Florida. There's going to be one in LA. So there's many different.
Do you have a feel for which role? And not that I would know because I have yet to see it. They say it's all on YouTube. I haven't seen it yet.
Who's been able to get a ticket?
I know. I mean, when it was here at the Kennedy Center, it was like the Hunger Games.
I was at I went to one of the Kennedy's an opening party before the new spots open over there, and Michael took me because he was on that board. And
Michael's involved in everything.
yeah, but we were talking to one of the directors at the Kennedy Center, and she said they literally made their entire year budget from Hamilton.
I'm
last year.
sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, she
It
said,
was
but
there
they were
what?
afraid
Was it
of
there
this.
2 months?
They were afraid of this year because they didn't have a Hamilton. Because how can they match it? They make the entire
Yeah, I
budget
mean that's
off
yeah.
of that one play.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I was saying in November, I'm definitely going to go and audition for my ultimate goal, which is Lion King.
Oh, okay.
I've always been kind of.
Are they still doing that? I guess they. I mean, I guess you're gonna.
Heather
forever do
Headley
it.
might be going back to it.
Oh, really?
I just made that up. I love Heather Headley.
And I'll be Simba, and she'll be my Nala.
I love Heather Headley.
Can you dance too? I mean, can you? So you're a trained artist. Like, I mean, you don't like just. You can't just like do a 2-step. I mean, you can. You're a theatrical dancer.
Yes.
Okay.
I have did a little study in ballet, jazz, hip hop, and even so now, just kind of I just want to re-emphasize those skills. So I'm trying to find a hip hop class, a ballet class.
Go up to Dance Institute of Washington. My dear beloved friend Fabian Barnes opened that studio, and they have
The
all of that.
legendary.
Yes.
The
that was my
legendary.
buddy.
That's
I
a
was
true
think-
legend.
I was thinking about him the other day.
Yeah,
I
he was a
missed
great
that
guy. He was a great guy. So let me ask you this.
And
So,
we go back 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
so most Broadway vocalists, I mean, you can hear, usually like when you hear Broadway vocalists, like say Heather Headley or Cynthia Euvo, you hear something different with their vocalists. And I know, Broadway singing is different than like your traditional pop singing or R&B singing. But are most vocalists that are you see on stage, are they mostly classically trained or?
No, there are different techniques within. So Broadway is a certain technique, R&B, jazz, throughout the genres. However, there is a basis on just technique. Breathing is one of the biggest things. If you get a stronghold on your breathing, you can definitely move between the different genres. Is it recommended? A lot of teachers are going to tell you no, don't jump between Broadway and opera.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've had 2 teachers tell me not to. But
would Audra McDonald be considered an opera singer or a Broadway singer?
Broadway.
Really?
Because she doesn't have the depth.
But she's got classical overtones. Like, so Renee Fleming is what? Really? But
Renee
you know, she
Fleming's
also
different.
sings jazz too.
But
Not well.
Jazz
Oh, you don't like her? I like her singing jazz. She's not Diane Reeves singing jazz, but she's a great jazz singer.
But but so Audra McDonald is considered Broadway. She's not
Should
classical.
be more Broadway than classical. She has training in classical, and she can definitely switch her mechanism, her vocal mechanism, so that she can sing opera more so than Broadway. So even
She can.
personally, I can sing John Legend, but then also I can definitely do Don Giovanni,
Oh, wow.
and I can switch back and forth because I've kind of honed in on the technique.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to sing Don Giovanni like John Legend? Definitely not, because that's not.
Well, she could switch anything. 'Cause
you're. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
So you're. I mean, you're flexible, adaptable. You have variety. I mean, you can do a little bit of everything. All genres. Okay.
I started off just being able to sing opera. So even I would sing like "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday," classically, for a retirement party. It was weird to me, but the thing is that everyone appreciated because they saw a young black man with dreads. Breaking
that's
the-
interesting.
Or they just
stereotype.
heard your artistry. That's the
That
thing.
too.
The artistry alone is
you.
right. So we're gonna have to get out of here in a minute. So we want to thank Marcel for coming, folks. And so give us your page. We'll post it. Where can people find out more information on you? Follow you on Instagram as you traipse across the world.
So my Instagram is KNAVE, Nave of OF _ Spades, SPADES.
That's a lot.
Yes, we'll definitely have that written down and typed out. You're perfectly fine. But also, I can be found on Facebook, just as Marcel J. Sawyer.
Okay. And that's Sawyer, right?
Like
Right.
Tom Sawyer.
Y'all follow this gentleman, and he's gonna be a big star. We gotta archive this so we can sell it to the highest bidder, Tony. This tape.
But the thing is that when I make it big, I'm coming back to the Swerve show.
You better. No, we'll just come out and meet you out. Just
And
fly us out there.
and when you make it big, you're gonna take care of your old pops. That's what you're going to
What's
do.
our cut?
He already knows.
Mine's is 50.
It's usually 35%.
I've
But Tony says it's
I've invested quite a bit.
Well, y'all, we want to thank y'all for hanging in with us on the Swerve Show. When you see this, comment, shoot us some feedback.
We appreciate you.
We do, and this was a great show. It was great to sit down with you, man. I'm really proud of you. Good luck. Keep it moving. Get beyond whatever little barriers you got. Just life's too short. Go for it. Go for it. All right, Tony. Thank you, sir. Good
Of
seeing
course,
you.
it's
All
my
right.
pleasure.
We tired. We got a lot of stuff to do, but we got through it, didn't we?
You know what? Like I said, I'm a hustler,
And
baby.
it was fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It always is.
Right.
You know.
All right, this is just us being us. Anyway, so y'all check out the Swerve September, October issue, and we want to say good night. Keep in touch. All right.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night.
Peace. Peace.
Listen vision, listen vision. DC's #1 recording studio. Oh.